you came from the last video, huh? Well, I guess that means that you are incredibly excited as I am to talk about this new book, Dogman Big Jim Begins. Now, in the last part, we talked about the Dogman movie trailers that I've seen, as well as the Dogman game. But this video will be entirely focused on this book right here. So, are you guys ready? Let's resume in 3, 2, 1. Now, as for this book right here, this is Dogman Big Jim Begins. And I incredibly like the cover for this book. I love all the lightning flashes everywhere. It definitely is a reference to the last book. I think that Dave Pilkey's trying to add a little more effects to his covers now. And it is definitely working because this cover looks absolutely awesome. I love the shading as well as the foreshadowing for further events that are found in this book cover. Now, my favorite part about Big Jim Begins is the focus on, of course, Big Jim. Now, Big Jim is never the character, the last character that I expected to get his own book about him, but here we are. This not only means that we can possibly get books focusing on other characters and fleshing them out in the Dogman series as well, but also that we can finally learn more about Big Jim, and boy, we did. We learned about his backstory, about his parents, how he grew up to become who he is today. Really, the only thing that I am curious about Big Jim as of this moment is how he actually ended up going to jail. Because if you guys have read the book, the reason that Big Jim gave for going to jail was proven by himself to be a lie. So I want to know now, how exactly did he go to jail? Because of how pure-hearted he is, as of right now, I'm not exactly sure how, and I want to figure that out. Now, the focus is so big on Big Jim, and even on Grandpa, Petey's dad, that some of the main characters don't even get any dialogue. Like, I only know one character that got, like, one dialogue, and then all the rest of the main characters barely said anything. Even Little Petey, the talkative Little Petey, who goes on and on rambling chapter to chapter in every book he's in, didn't get any dialogue in this book, and I was honestly taken aback by that. Not only did we learn about Big Jim's past, but we also learned about Grandpa Petey's past as well. And with how he reacted when he was talking to the story about how he proposed to his wife there, I mean, he never talked about the story, but he did refer to it. We can see that he did genuinely feel emotional talking about it, which leads me to believe that eventually Petey's dad will also turn good, just like Petey did. Now, one of the things I was incredibly happy about was the return of How to Draw, as well as the return of the book announcements. Now, we haven't really seen the book announcements like that since the early series. Like, I'd say probably around Cat Kid. You guys could fact check me on that. I'm not exactly sure if I'm right. But one thing that I was shocked not to see in the Scarlet Shedder book was the How to Draws. But we finally had them return, and the new book called Big Jim Believes will finally be coming out soon. Now, I'd probably say it's probably a mid to late 2025 release, or maybe it will go off the hype of the movie and be an early 2025 release. But with how much Dogman things have came out recently, and I'd imagine that Dave Pilkey is working on perfecting the movie or being in charge of the movie, I doubt that for now we will get a new Dogman book. But that's fine, because knowing that there will be a new Dogman book in the future is enough for me. I know you guys love these videos, and I love to keep making them, and I think that Dave Pilkey also loves to keep producing the books for that to happen. So here's to more Dogman in the future. One thing I didn't really like about the story, but also loved about the story at the same time, was the focus on the villains. The focus on the villains were extremely low in this book. And the villains were pretty poorly written, to be totally honest. They weren't threatening in the slightest, and they honestly didn't add that much to the story like other impactful villains did, like Flat Petey and Flippy. Those were some of the villains that the Dogman series is known for, the prime villains, but I just wasn't feeling it this time. However, I am glad that Dave Pilkey did add new villains and he listened to my prayers, because I do remember in the last book review, I did talk about me wanting to see new villains. And to totally be honest, the villains not having a major role in this story is completely fine with me, because neither do the main characters. And listen, we are not focusing on the villains. We're not focusing on the main characters here. We're focusing on Big Jim and his story. Overall, I had an amazing experience with Big Jim Begins. I definitely give it a 9 out of 10 on the score, and I think that is the highest ranked Dogman book I have ranked in a while. But this book was genuinely an amazing book, and it does set up a good sequel for it as well. It makes me wonder if there's going to be just like a whole Big Jim arc with many different books inside, or maybe Big Jim Believes will tie everything in together and we'll move on to something else in the next Dogman book, or maybe we'll finally who knows, maybe the Dogman book will finally finish, because it seems like Grandpa Petey is finally starting to show some cracks in his evilness, and he seems like he's starting to turn good, especially in this book. And if Grandpa's out of the picture, there really aren't many villains left besides Dr. Scum and the Fleeds. And of course they could bring someone back, Flat Petey, or the Fair Fairy, or even somehow bring Prime Evil Flippy back. I don't know, they could do something, you know. But I can't wait to see where the series goes in the future, especially regarding Big Jim. Now let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any predictions for Big Jim Believes personally. I believe that, you know, maybe Big Jim Believes will be set in space, considering that's where all of the alienoid villains in this book came from, or I'm assuming so. And that would be cool, because we haven't had a Dogman in Space book yet. So I would actually like to see all of the Dogman characters in space, and it doesn't seem like it would be too weird and too far-fetched in my idea either, considering where the Dogman series has been and all the different types of wacky shenanigans that has happened. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed my 2-part series. I am desperately sorry for not uploading, guys. I know it's troubling, but I have school, and I would rather focus on making sure that my grades stay at a good time, because I think I'm doing really amazing in school. I'm in honors classes and everything like that, so I have to just, you know, handle my schedule well. That being said, I am still going to try and see if I can make more of these videos in the future. I definitely do think I could fit some time for it somewhere. And considering that so many things are happening for Dogman in this year and even late last year, I want to continue to stay consistent with the series, you know. I don't want to keep having to making book reviews like a month after the book came out, because then at that point, everyone would have read it, you know? I mean, it is good in my opinion that I'm able to do that, because then I'm able to give a more detailed review, because I don't have to worry about people saying spoilers and all that. So that's definitely a great thing. That being said though, I want to continue to see if I can stay with and keep up with how many things that the Dogman books are dropping. If I had to guess, they're probably going to make another Cat Kid Comic Club book first before they head back onto the Dogman series with Big Jim Believes. But I will be here for that. I will be here for everything. I am the #1 Dogman fan in my opinion, and I will stay that way for the rest of my life, probably. Well, again, thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button. We are almost to 700 subscribers. I want to thank you guys so much. I definitely wasn't expecting to get this far. Honestly, when I started the Dogman book series channel, I honestly wasn't expecting to really get very far with it. I thought it was just going to be a hobby that I did once and never came back to. And I did not expect the videos to explode as much as they did. But even the most recent video has around 600 views. So I want to thank you guys so much for that. I I only ask if you guys can also support my other work. I also am making a book, as you guys know, the CKS book, and I would like if you guys could take a look into that as well, especially if you're a Dogman fan. I think you would really like it. I have the first 5 chapters out on YouTube. As for right now, the first book, I will not be making any more chapters, considering that, I want people to get the book, but people won't get it if I just, post all of the chapters on YouTube, because then what would be the point? So make sure to stay alert for when the book finally releases, and let me know what else you guys want to see in the comments down below, I'm always free to suggestions, and I love your guys' comments. So please, continue to keep it up. Road to 700 subscribers, and eventually maybe even 1,000. Let's take this thing to the top. Peace.